was not exactly the kind of path that I think everybody thought Team USA would take into this knockout phase, but they are here after all, and they take on a first-timer in. U.S. is the road team as the 2 seed coming out of their pool will look like this. Bobby Witt Jr. leads off. Bryce Harper's back in the lineup. Judge, then Schwarber earned his way into the lineup with the 2-home-run game against Italy. Michael Soroka, one-time top prospect of the Atlanta Braves that got to the big leagues.
Aggressive, try to pound strikes, get score early.
Bobby Witt Jr. leads things off and takes strike one. It's been interesting with this offense. You've had the explosions that you would expect. The win against Mexico, all 5 runs came in 1 inning. Didn't score until the 6th against Italy. By the time they racked up the 6 runs, it was 2 together the rallies like you'd expect.
Yeah, and part of that is going to be, again, you talk about they're with their team. They know they got to be at their best right now to advance.
Well, look, so much of any part of the schedule is,
and they know it's a long season. The hitters go through process in their batting practice and in their game. Look, when they're at their team, he was 6 for 15 with the Royals in spring training. Well, he hasn't missed a beat. He's 357.
Semifinals likely to take on the Dominican Republic, which is off to a good start against Korea in the first of the quarterfinals. Triples has put on a show so far here in Houston. On another 2-2 from Soroka, fouls it back. True 5-tool player, and it seems like you only have to watch him for a night or two to see all 5 of those. Bat to start this game on the 8th pitch from Soroka. Witt takes ball 3. Win against Colombia. Boy, that is one impressive walk right there, showing yet another dimension of his game.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of dimensions, and one of them's his legs too, and
needed the win to ensure advancing. Harper with a big rip and a miss. And both things can be true. It can be true that he could have had a better of options.
And everybody deserves an opportunity to play. At this point now, when you get to this round, then those options get limited because of the lack of playing time for certain guys.
Harper drills the ball straight away center field. Clark to the track at the wall. He's got it. Denzel Clark goes to a part of the park that has proven to just kill well-hit balls. Talking with guys around the cage today. Brings up Aaron Judge, and he takes the ball. Yeah, that's Denzel Clark out there, who elite defensively for the A's. Only up for like 2 months. Judge is ahead 2-0. Now, Judge, one of the guys most pleased with a new lease on life here, getting a chance to continue playing. It was his 2 home runs in this WBC for the Yankee captain. Cranks this one to left field, and a base hit that'll scoot to the wall. Witt flies for third. A juggle from Casey. He's in easily. A ringing double from Aaron Judge, and the U.S. in business quickly.
Well, that's what they needed, and
be it pulling the infield in here with 1 gone in the first inning. Schwarber bounces it off Naylor, the only play will be at first. Julian takes it himself. Bobby Witt scores the first run of the night. Kyle Schwarber jumps on the first pitch, drives in the first run. Managed every World Baseball Classic for Team Canada. Bregman fouls it back. He's the only manager of any country that can say that in an event that go to
coaching staff.
A pop fly off of the bat of Bregman into shallow right field. Julian is there, and that'll do it for the U.S. But a much-needed good start for the Americans. In Canada's lineup, the biggest names in this group, Naylor and O'Neill, have not done a whole lot in this World Baseball Classic. It's been Owen Casey of the Miami Marlins, and Abraham Toro has tried things for the offense. Logan Webb, who started the first game of the World Baseball Classic for the Americans, pours in a strike, and he gave up a home run to the first hitter in baseball.
Yeah, he throws strikes. He changed speeds. He's got the unique sinker. His ability to just break the ball in different ways and different.
Going with the 1-1 pitch to Lopez, and there is a bouncer that bounds right over Bregman into left field. Otto Lopez starts things with a single for Canada.
Can I give you a little perspective between these 2 lineups?
Yeah.
All right. We talked about this lineup, and for the American team. 294 home runs last year in this lineup. You can make that look like it's not that important.
Josh Naylor comes up here, the biggest name for Team Canada, and out of those 74 home runs, he had 20 of them last year, split between the slowest runner in the majors.
Yeah, you could have given me 250 guesses on how many stolen bases he had.
It's a slower runner, Alejandro Kirk, and Naylor still found a way to be a stolen base fiend. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him, and not just that. I mean, this guy had a clear intensity and edge that
get them so close to getting to the World Series.
He'll return to Seattle, which seemed as that postseason went on, and he hit 340 for him like it had to happen. They signed him to a 5-year contract. Webb brings him a 1-2. He reaches out and pops it down the left field line. Long way to go for Alex Bregman, who gets there in foul ground. Back to first goes Lopez. The way he was shifted over, there was a mile to cover. For O'Neill. O'Neill gets buzzed by that high fastball. O'Neill, who has a 31 home run season on his resume with the Red Sox, 2 years healthy, dangerous power hitter, and says that he feels as healthy as he's been in years going into his second with Baltimore. Son of the 2-0 from Webb. O'Neill hits it on the ground, left side and through. 2 on for Canada in this first inning. And in this WBC for Canada, it's not been Naylor and it's not been O'Neill. It's been this guy right here, Owen Casey, one of the top prospects in baseball. 23 years old, debuted for the Chicago Cubs late last year. Then he started to think about it and thought, well, my path is clear. This is probably the opening day right fielder in Miami.
Yeah, sometimes I can certainly speak to a trade that
Cubs, Wrigley Field, you're playing for your hometown team.
I was
get traded from there.
I was like, oh no, not the Atlanta Braves. Come on.
How long before you saw the light?
Well, it took a little minute because, you know, I'm sure much like him, he's like, I got a great chance to get in there quicker.
Behind 1-2 here. 2 aboard with 1 away. Waves and misses. That's strike 3 and 2 gone in the first. 2 on, 2 out. Abraham Toro, another one of the stars of this classic for Canada. 3 for 5 with a home run against Cuba in the clinching game on Wednesday, and a .467 average for the tournament. Quickly 0-2. Webb with a chance to get out of this first inning jam. Hasn't missed a start in the last 4 years. You talk about being able to count on a guy. Logan Webb is that man. He winds up getting back-to-back strikeouts after the 2 singles, and the U.S. leads after 1. Coming up in the second. U.S. looking for a 5th consecutive win head-to-head against Canada. Always stood in their way before this stage. Beat Puerto Rico and Cuba to win Pool A. Roman Anthony leads off this second, takes a ball. Anthony, the young, his future certainly bright. I think the Red Sox, too, should be competitive, should be right in it this year. Bouncer down to first, Naylor to the bag for the first out. We saw with Michael Lorenzen the other night. He said he tried to embrace that challenge, and he was awesome pitching into the 5th inning. Aaron Nola followed that with a gem of his own as Italy. Big dumper, Cal Raleigh pops it up, foul ground. Naylor's over with Toro, and Naylor's got it. 2 away. That's Josh's brother, Bo, catcher for the Guardians, over there making the grab. It does seem like this is as
over time, more awareness and development.
Ball on Bryce Terang.
And I should say willingness. You got to have the players willing to play in these events if it's truly going to give you the best chance managing these kind of teams in this kind of tournament.
And it's a catch-22 because the better your roster, the more of those restraints you're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's players in the different countries to enhance their baseball program. And every time the Team USA puts a roster together, they're going to be one of the favorites.
It was that they'd win it all. Anything short of that, disappointment. Certainly what would have been an unthinkable exit after pool play. Got a little bit of help from Italy on Wednesday. Off to a 1-0 lead over Canada. And Bryce Terang, who has made as good a case for himself as any player on this roster as this WBC's gone on. Another payoff to Terang. Breaks in for strike 3, and Michael Soroka's got a 1-2-3 second. Back in Houston, you can switch to T-Mobile and get free MLB.TV available March. DeRosa had his eyes on Webb back in his first WBC as the manager in 2023. Finally able to convince him here in 2026. The decision actually happened aboard the tour bus of the country. Pat McAfee, David Ross, the former Cubs manager who was on this Team USA staff, and Logan Webb. And Mark DeRosa got wind that Ross was going to be on this bus with Webb, and he said, you got to use this. Got the other guys involved. He told Ernest, he told McAfee, we got to get this guy to play for Team USA. McAfee shows up in a Team USA hat. They're all in on it. Webb's like, okay, why are these guys dressed up like this? And they basically said to him, come on, buddy, into the concert. Rest is history. Tyler Black leading off this inning for Canada, takes down and away 2-2. And DeRosa saying that you have these pitch limits. So you got a guy like Webb, he's going to get a lot deeper into the game than your average pitcher. He strikes out Black, his 3rd consecutive K.
Yeah, that's exactly right. In an era where there's
one gone in this second, here is Bo Naylor. He takes ball 1. The thing with Webb, it's always been about the ground balls. It's always been about getting deep into games. Last year, he added the strikeout, urging him to shift this, but it's okay to look for a put-away pitch. Three-0 on Naylor. Guardians had that huge run last year to win the division, win 20 of their last 25 games, take it from the Tigers, and Naylor had a...
In this format are going to be, this is nothing, spring training games are nowhere close to this, right? The pressure, the anxiety, all the things. So actually was surprised by more answers that I got talking to position players and how helpful this actually is for them, instead of it being more hurtful if you're not in the right place in your, in your hit.
Denzel Clark made a nice defensive play already. Takes a strike, and it's 0-2. The intensity of these games are much.
Right off of that point, he just threw it.
There it is, pounded into the ground with Clark speeded to be tough to get the out at second, and that's all. Well, fielder's choice and 2 away.
I say it all the time, more mistakes than he should.
Edward Julian, runner at first, 2 away, 1-0 game. Julian smacks one to short, and there's Bobby Witt to pick it off. More
efficient in a pitch count tournament like this. Get him out there, give us some length. He looks really good. A couple ground balls with eyes in the first, and Naylor had a nice shot on a 3-1 count, but other than that, he looks fine.
Last 48 hours. Is there anything, Mark, you would like people to know just about the way you approach this job?
I have an undying passion for it and an undying...
Thanks very much.
All right, Kenny. Pete Armstrong, one of those A's, has a base hit to open this 3rd inning.
And to that last point, he was starting for Harper, so people don't really know what they're talking about when they have cherry-pick situations from the outside looking at it.
Witt with a 1-0. That's outside ball 2. Kenny?
Joe, if the U.S. had just beaten Italy, lineups or his in-game decisions, no one would have viewed the extended bonding session they had after the Mexico game as anything but positive. The problem was the U.S. did...
Successful tournament for Team USA was going to be to win the whole thing. The only way for that to all go away will be if they still figure out a way to go on to Miami and win the whole thing. Not going to be a... And then Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Japan, all options in the championship game. Throw to second is just in time to get Pete Crow Armstrong, as Otto Lopez makes a nice play. Bryce is one of those guys who's in that typically spring stage of trying to find his swing. Sessions, he tries to unlock things. Normally not a big deal right now. You're thinking I still got 2 weeks to get ready for opening day. But in this case, here comes Soroka after a check over to first on Webb. And a double from Judge. Way up there. Get your ground rules sheet out. Otto Lopez in shallow center field lets it drop. And did so on purpose to trade runners, but hard. Soroka throws and Judge takes a strike. The environment they'd see in Miami. Much more tame these next couple games. The one against Italy and the one here against Canada. The environment has a little more of a hush comparatively.
Who has all the pressure coming into this. And right now that narrative has been pretty good for Mike Soroka.
You got a team in Canada. Nope. Their Judge, 53 home runs last season, 2 in this World Baseball Classic. Waits on a 3-1 pitch. Takes ball 4. He's been on both times, and they're at first and Sorber, who got the U.S. on the board with a ground out in the first inning. Watches one miss just away. Ball 1. Ball 2. The guy that always seems to come through for whatever team he's playing for. The Cubs at the start of his career. The Phillies for the last 4. The ice against Great Britain last weekend. Mark DeRosa said he's always been confident, and now you got the confidence combined with the fist,
but he's got it. And
here's a cue shot down to third. Only chances with a bare home from Toro, whose throw is wide. And a guy that hits as many home runs as anybody shoots a little 70-foot base
middle and mistake. It will be a loud noise. It could end up being 4 runs. He has not gotten off to a
one at all. The youngest guy on the team, handful of at-bats that time around. Much different place here. More than a decade into his major league career. Ball 1.
And Bregman is right, and most of the time during the season he's right. He doesn't chase off the plate.
Bregman has got 7 grand slams in his career. Watches one just miss. Big call right there from Bill Miller, the crew chief, who's behind the plate. Bases loaded, 2 out, and a 2-1 pitch. Buckled his knees again, 2-2.
That's again, really good pitch. Given the count, the circumstances.
This is wild for Alex Bregman. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, left side. Toro with a diving stop to his feet. Hits it high into the dugout. And Team USA cracks through. Harper in, Judge in. Schwarber over to third. Do it for Michael Soroka. Ernie Witt making a pitching change. A run in the first, 2 here in the third. Second and third. 2 out for Roman Anthony when you come back.